I'm Gabrielle Dennis coming at you from the Fanbase office right here in Atlanta, Georgia.
What's up, everybody? This is Noah Washington coming to you from the Fanbase office here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am sitting here with Miss Gabrielle Dennis. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Noah. How you doing?
Blessed and highly favored.
Hey,
Let's get right into it. So, the Big Door Prize. Congratulations. Season 2 renewal. It's going strong. It's so awesome. For those of you who haven't seen the show, it's absolutely great. You need to go check it out. For the viewers who have not seen it yet, how would you best describe it?
I would describe it as this show. It takes place in a very small town, and there's this mysterious machine that just comes out of nowhere. It kind of got like a vibe of like an old school 90s arcade game, but you enter like personal information, you put your fingerprints, and it prints out your personal true life potential. So it kind of makes the town go a little crazy. Yeah. Some people are down with it. Some people are confused. Some people if something prints out, like for instance, our lead character played by Chris O'Dowd, he is, when we come in the show, we meet him in his 40th birthday, and he thinks life is seemingly great. Then he meets the machine, and it prints out his potential as if he's already lived it. So at 40, the machine's like, dude, you're done. And, it's like, how do you process that? And then some people get information. They're like, oh, my gosh, this inspired me to do more. So it's just really fun to see how each character interprets the card that prints out. Like my character, she gets royalty. It sounds like a great card, but like what really does that mean, and going on this journey to figure that out. And then you get some people get like magician or like male model. And like some people are like really living their best life in a ridiculous way. So at the end of the day, it's a comedy, but it's wrapped in a little heart. It's wrapped in some magic. And it's just fun.
Wow. So you described it perfectly well. It's such an eclectic, unique, and awesome show. What was the first time you came across the script, and what feelings did it evoke?
Ooh, I first read the script maybe 2 years ago, and it evoked something very emotional in me. It was weird because when I finished reading, I was like, I don't know how to describe this series. I don't know what I just read, but I love it. And for me, what I loved is it makes you ask the same questions that the townspeople are asking, the characters are asking. So I think as an audience member, you're going to sit and you're going to be like, yo, what is my life potential? Am I on the right track? Am I doing the right things? And for me, it fell into the right time where I read the script. It felt like it meshed or was online with like how all of us were in the pandemic. Like collectively, we were doing this experience. I think the townspeople are doing this experiences together as well. But I feel like collectively during the pandemic, everybody was like reevaluating life, figuring out what's most important, like checking off new lists and making new bucket lists, right? So I feel like this show kind of felt for me in that same way. It was kind of profound in that way.
Wow. I love that answer. Earlier, you had mentioned being able to work with like Chris O'Dowd, the lead, but there's also Josh Segarra, Crystal Fox, Damon Gupton, just awesome performers. What was it like being able to work with such an incredibly talented crew?
You know what? I get to watch top-notch actors do their thing. And it's what I love about our show is the first season you're seeing like each episode kind of features heavily a different character. And there isn't a person on the show that just can't hold an episode, that can't just hold their own, right? So even with our newcomers, like, Sammy, he does such an amazing job. But watching our entire cast is just brilliant. I think everyone's perfectly cast, which is also a testament to our casting director and our producers. I think everyone just meshes really well. And I think this is all of our first time ever working together. I don't think any of us have ever worked with each other before.
I really like what you said about turning the town upside down, right? That's so true. Like the show, the townspeople, they just go crazy, right? My question to you is, if you were to get a card in real life, what do you think it would be?
I don't know what it would be, but I would hope it's something that I would hope it was something that's easy to interpret. However, I'm a Libra and I'm always trying to find balance and confused and like I'm all over the place. So I would be like, I would still be indecisive and I would come up with 1,700 versions of what I think that would mean anyway. But I would hope it would be something like joyous and like bring something positive to people's life.
Just so you know, I'm a Libra too.
Hey, Libra, what's your birthday?
September 27th.
October 19th.
Hey. There we go.
Hey.
One of the shows, it's a comedy, but it's very serious. It has its very serious moments, right? My question is, what do you think the show says about the state of the human condition?
It's a human experience show, right? I mean, when you're dealing with such existential questions as these that we deal with in the show about happiness and journey and potential and destiny and it's a thing where in real life, we live in a world, in a space where you can laugh at a funeral, right? So I feel like there's that balance in life where we get to do comedy, we get to do drama, we have that levity, and I feel like as an artist, I appreciate the ability to kind of go into my actor bag and play my hand in different ways. So I think the audience can, because it's a human experience, and because I feel like a lot of people watching this will see reflections of themselves in the show, it makes it that much more enjoyable, where you're not just, because it really, when you think about like life potential and heavy topic like that, you can really go down a rabbit hole. Yeah. But I think the comedy is necessary to kind of lift you up and give you that inspiration, and you can laugh with us and laugh at us, but also still it's a thought-provoking show. And it's all just wrapped in this beautiful, magical package. I don't know. It's still, to me, I think it's still hard to explain. So I'm happy you said I did a good job.
You've done Luke Cage, Insecure, and so many other pieces of work. What makes going to set each day different than doing any of that other work?
On this show?
Yeah.
It's just a different environment. Each show has its own like vibe and its own energy and its synergy. And for me, also just filming on location adds a new element of surprise and adventure, because shooting in Atlanta, I'm not accustomed to having to like hold for lightning, like stuff like that, or like we have like whole days like for weather related issues. So that's something new, because in LA it's pretty much sunny all year. So we don't have to hold for storms and stuff like that. But I will say it's always fun to shoot on location, because I feel like I don't want to say forced, because it's not that it's not voluntary, but I feel like when you're not in your own bubble, like if you were all filming back home, everybody's really wanting to kind of get together and like go eat or hang out, or like, just have moments, go to the park, whatever that vibe is. It helps you kind of get together quicker to know each other in a more organic way than I feel like if, when you're at home and you're in your bubble, you just kind of go to work, you go home. You hang out on set, but there's not much of that outside of that. But what I love about shooting on location, like here, with this show, and like when I did Luke Cage in New York, or when I did Bobby Brown's story here, it's just fun to shoot on location for that reason.
So, does it help your acting process to be on stage, a sound stage, or on location?
I don't think, for me, it makes a difference. I prefer on stage just because logistically it's a lot easier. But I will say being on location a lot of times adds that new element of surprise and not knowing what's going on. And specifically, like with my sketch show, we shoot on location. We don't shoot in a sound stage. So we shoot maybe 90% of what we do is on set on different locations. So that adds an element of finding new things to do with the work, because you find a new corner, or like the environment feels different, it smells different, the ground is harder or it's softer. There's just different things that you don't see on a day-to-day basis. So you want to go in there, you want to play, because you have one day to do it. So I think sometimes it's a lot of fun to shoot on location.
For those who don't know, you are also a vocalist. Is there any projects related or anything you're excited for in that realm?
I don't have anything coming up. People are always asking, when are you going to put out an album? I was like, I don't know. I guess when a producer reaches out to me, I don't really know. I used to be in a singing group way back in the day when I was younger, but the music industry is hard. Yeah. It is very, very hard. So I found acting a lot easier. So I love being able to sing as a character on something, and like, I have a couple of things out on like, the platforms that have been released from shows that I've done, like Rosewood. I got to pin the song. I wrote and sung that song from Luke Cage that I got to do. So that was really dope. And we just did something for Black Lady Sketch Show. Like, my voice is out there. It's just not me. It's just a bunch of different characters.
That's awesome. So Black Lady Sketch Show, can we talk about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's exciting. Like, that's super awesome. Just congratulations on everything. What was it like being able to take this to HBO?
Well, Robin Thede, who's the show's creator, I knew her from back in the day. I used to do stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, improv, and she remembers me from the stage. And she's like, I have been following your career. You are so funny. And not a lot of people know that, because I think my first introduction to the world was like in a drama space with like The Game. Even though it was a comedy, my storyline was very much so dramatic. And then I did, like, she was like, you've done Luke Cage and you've played Whitney Houston, but like, people aren't seeing you be funny. Like, and I know you can do this because I've adored you for that. So she took this show to HBO. I think she pitched it in like January. They bought it at the table. She had no pilot, no presentation, nothing. Issa took her because her other show had gotten canceled. So Issa was like, well, what we doing next? So they met. They sold it at lunch at HBO. I think that was in January. She texted me in February. We were filming by April. And then the show was on the air, I think, in like August.
Wow, that is a fast turnaround.
Yeah, it was very fast. I think we shot the whole season in like 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of work season 1. We don't do that fast anymore, but season 1 was rapid speed.
What is that first season? You said go in a little more detail about how filming the first season was different from filming the other seasons.
So season 1, we only had like a 5-week window. And in that window, we shot 6 episodes, but we would shoot like maybe 2 sketches a day. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we are shooting on location. So for us, shooting those mini sketches, we're really like shooting short films because each one has its own identity. They have a different genre. Like we would do like horror comedy and like over-the-top comedy and like romantic comedy. So like all the musicals, like all of that had a different genre. And so our director, Dime Davis, was so dope in being able to tackle all of that. But again, 5 weeks. Like that's a lot of time, not a lot of time to churn out. We all did at least a dozen plus characters each. So it's a lot of work. But now we do like 3 months. It takes us a couple months to film the 6 episodes. And even that still seems like, maybe to some people sounds like a lot of time. It's really not. Like we're really only filming 3 hours of TV. You know what I'm saying? Because we're only doing 6 30-minute episodes. But I wish people would understand how hard sketch comedy is, at least on our show. And not to say it's not on other shows, but on our show, it's a little different where we don't show up to the same space every day. We're not in the same environment. We're on the road, basically, shooting 100+ movies each season. And it's a lot of fun. I think I shot at least 40 characters this past season. That's a lot of, stepping into different personalities and different wigs and different makeup and different shoes. But it's a lot of fun. But it is a lot of hard work. But we enjoy every second of it.
How do you, in what ways do you approach comedy and dramas? Are they different? Are they similar?
Well, I feel like you approach the truth, the core of the honesty in the character and in the work. Regardless if it's comedy or drama. And honestly, even with drama, sometimes I just try to find a way to throw a little comedy in there because, like I said, life can be funny sometimes. But yeah, I feel like I approach, as far as the actor part of it, like breaking down the work, I approach it pretty much the same way. But with comedy, it's like if it makes me laugh out loud, do more of whatever I'm doing. And then I think with comedy, you also get a chance to do a lot of improvisation that you don't get to do as much in drama. And I think a lot of what you see on our sketch show, I won't say all of it, but there is a lot of improvisation, and we have fun with that a lot.
So I can't. We brought it up a few times passively, but I'm a gigantic nerd. If you haven't noticed by this conversation yet, Luke Cage.
I knew Luke Cage. Yes, I love Luke Cage.
How often do you get asked about Luke Cage?
Honestly, not as much as I would think. Like Luke Cage was such a huge deal, and I was so excited when I got on that. My heart was broken. Temporarily, but kind of still, I'm a little salty. But when I got the call, it was the day before my birthday. I got a call about like how great the scripts were going to be, like how it's going to be like the next big villain. Like there was an arc for my character. There was an intention for Nightshade to kind of come pop in season 3. And then literally the next day on my birthday, I was getting dressed for dinner and I got the bad news that absolutely the show was getting the can. Along with all the other Marvel shows at Disney, at Netflix. So I was like, wait, what? What's happening? Who got shot? Wait, can somebody mail me my Afro Puffs? Like, what happened? Like, but it was a blast. Like, I had so much fun doing that character. I just wish I had a chance to do more of her.
Comic books have been around for what is about to maybe even more than 100 years now, right? To be immortalized, right? And this comic book space. Just what's that feeling going into it?
I never even thought about it in that way. Yeah, I mean, that's dope. It'd be doper if we had some more seasons, but so I could really be immortalized. You can run them checks my way on the residuals. I love that.
So with the Disney buying, with the licensing going back to Disney, any calls?
I haven't gotten a single call. I sure keep looking for one. Like, somebody call me. I'm here. I'm ready. Y'all can see I can do a lot of jobs at one time. I'm a Jamaican man. Give me 10 jobs. You know what I'm saying? Wagwan. Anyway, they're going to kill me. I'm sorry. Sorry for that horrible accident. Accident? Yeah, it was an accidental accent. Sorry. There we go. This Atlanta pollen's getting to me. Sorry. It's crouched in my brain.
That's a good question in there. How are you adjusting to the weather?
Not well. Pack my bags, take me back to the humidity-less city of Los Angeles. No, it's not. Actually, the weather right now is great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Great.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I actually, you know what I do like is I like going on walks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been fun to go on walks with there's actually there's been seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's not just been one thing every time.
Oh yeah, we have multiple seasons within
A
each
day?
season. Right now, I think we're in the spring of deception. The spring of deception.
Okay.
That's what it is. Because tomorrow it could just be thunderstorming and raining. It's absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
But what's been your favorite thing to do while here in Atlanta or in Georgia?
Eat. It's my favorite thing to do everywhere.
Any place you want to shout out in particular?
Not really. Our crafty, they throw down. Like I eat very well. I've got some shrimp skewers and some pasta at home with my name on it. Can't wait to get there. I take food home every day. But I work so much. That's really where I get a chance to eat. And obviously, you guys will never run out of wings in Atlanta.
Oh, no.
There's always a debate on who has the best wings. I keep saying I'm going to have like a wing and like, I don't know, like a wing and whiskey party or wing and wine or something, just to kind of do a blind test taste and see what people really think.
What's been the craziest or best experience outside of set that you'd had in the city?
In this city, I would say the craziest on this trip.
Yeah.
Because I've been here a couple times. Okay. So on this trip, listen, I'm so lame. I don't do anything. Like I go to set, I do my job, I go home. Occasionally I might catch a flight to Los Angeles, but like I'm a worker bee and I'm a germaphobe, so I don't really like being out in the streets. But I will say the most interesting thing I guess I've done has gone to, there was a dinosaur exhibit that I went with my sister to take her kids. So that was really cute to kind of get out and like see these big, huge T-Rex and go through the whole little exhibit. And I was a little kid. I was doing a little drawing myself and I was like, I want to see my stuff on the screen as well. So that was really cute.
So you mentioned you brought I want to get a little bit into COVID, right? We've been not that long out of COVID protocols filming. What's it like returning to a semi-normal filming environment?
Well, we still, there's still like testing protocols and stuff like that. And I think for me, I was teasing with somebody and I realized maybe it's not a joke, is that I think I have some PTSD because Black Lady Schedule was one of like a handful of shows that went back in production right at the heart of COVID. So everything was super, super strict. I mean, there were tents set up, people like dressed head to toe, like in the whole like garb, like looking like you're in like a monster movie or like, some science fiction situation. And, you're just filling out questionnaires before you get to work. And then you got to answer questions when you're there. And you got to get tested and you got to wait for your test. And there's all these things. And it's like, now go be funny. It was like, wait, huh? Give me a second. I just drove through the empty streets of Los Angeles. It feels like, I'm in like a post-apocalyptic world right now. So because of that, I expect nothing less when I work, but things every time I work have gotten less and less and less stringent. So there is some joy, I guess, in that. But then for somebody like me as a germaphobe, I'm like, can we please test 17 more times? I wouldn't feel safe. But it's a challenge. Like it really is, because if somebody goes down, then there's a whole like logistical situation. So, but for the most part, every knock on wood, I have not had it yet, but every show has been really good at like finding their lane, their mix and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So you guys, we said it earlier, the show got renewed for a season 2. Yep. What can we expect going into that, even when the season hasn't even finished yet, the first season?
Ooh.
Without spoilers.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that without spoilers because we haven't even finished season 1. But I will say what I'm excited about is just to kind of see a lot of the unanswered questions being tapped into. Hopefully we learn a little bit more about the machine itself, because that's a central character of the show. And I don't think there's much I can talk about. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be good.
So I have a theory.
Okay. I'd love to hear it.
Okay. So in the show,
I can neither confirm nor deny if this theory is correct, but shoot for the stars.
Okay. In the show, part of getting your highest potential is you got to put in your social security number and then scan your fingerprints. I think we have an identity theft situation going on, right?
Okay.
That's super specific, right? And then the way people are carelessly putting in their social security numbers to something they know nothing about.
Yeah.
Am I?
I can neither confirm nor deny. No, what I think the creator's intent with that is how we just blindly give our information up all the time. Like we're in this digital age where we're on our phone complaining about what we're not going to do while we're doing it on our phone. Like they already have the government, boo, if they're coming for you, they already know how to find you because you're always pinging off of some tower or whatever. When you think about how easily we can access money and like any information, everything is in the palm of our hand nowadays. So I think to me, the machine is kind of a representation of like technology and like how easily we as followers, as a society, will follow. Like we're sheep. You know what I mean? Like if a machine showed up in town, you bet your ass there'll be a bunch of people that's going to show up and they don't care what it asks. They want to know that true potential. They're going to do whatever it takes. I think we take a comedic twist with it. But I mean, I wouldn't be in the first in the line because I'm going to be like, I'm old school black. I'm like, you want what you want? My money and my social security number? I need to see my mama do this first and let me know how it goes. So I would definitely be in the back of the line, but I would definitely be intrigued. You know what I mean? I think that's the what makes the machine so appealing.
Wow. So your character Cass, as you said earlier, she gets royalty card. What's the what's the character arc and growth that she goes through for the remainder of the season?
Well, Cass, because she's always identified as a mom and as a mother, it's for her, it's like an awakening. It's an inner awakening of her finding herself, finding her true potential and what royal space that means for her. But it's walking away from just identifying as a mom and a wife and like figuring out what potential and dreams can you tap back into? Because we see there's a scene where she opens this closet to go retrieve a book for someone and you see all these boxes of like all these different past things that she's tried. And it shows that she's an adventurous spirit and she has all these things that she's dreamed of, but she's never quite gone to the finish line. So I think hopefully people would cheer for Cass to kind of get to the finish line this time and find something that means something special for her. And hopefully that resonates with a lot of people, specifically women, specifically moms, specifically, in those situations. So I hope people root for Cass to grow and find her own crown.
So in the show, Josh Segarra, he plays what I like to say a usurper who is trying to get in the way of Cass's relationship with her husband. Is there any development, like anything we'll see coming up with that?
I think you will find some kind of resolve with him in particular, with that interest of her by the end of the season.
Okay. Any projects you're looking forward to or anything you will talk about now?
Yeah, just the Big Door Prize, Apple TV Plus, Black Lady Sketch Show on HBO Max, a recur on the Upshaws on Netflix, just a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully some animation stuff that's coming out. I don't know any dates right now, but some of that stuff coming up too.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being here, and we're out.
Bye.